place. Y'all are antichrist. Look like I got somebody over here on YouTube. Ash. What's up, Ash? You on stage?
Hey, Shalom, how you living?
What's going on? I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Trying to do better one step at a time.
Okay. Amen. Amen. Let me turn this on so maybe I can get you audible on TikTok over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you evening going?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How you?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right.
Doing
What you
pretty good.
believe in, brother?
I believe in the whole Bible. Um, I'm an Israelite. I wanted to talk to you about the Gentiles coming to the Most High largely after the kingdom is established, according to Zechariah 8. What's
Well,
your stance on that passage?
that's not really my topic right now, but
Oh,
if you answer my, deal with the topic, then we can deal with what you're saying.
my bad. What's the topic, brother?
Well, the topic is the antichrist. Like
Oh,
who has the antichrist spirit? Now, I'm not talking about the figure antichrist because we know that's going to be an antichrist that comes, in the last days, mislead people, do the whole thing.
right. So,
But according to First John, do you have a Bible?
yes, sir.
Yeah, can you go to First John 2, verse 22?
First John 2 and 22.
Everybody can
Um,
hear him, right? Can y'all hear him on YouTube? Can y'all hear him on TikTok?
I'll turn my volume up a little bit. Let me see. How's that?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. I'm just saying to see if they can hear you on the different platforms.
All praises, all praises.
Okay, they can hear you.
All right. So First John 2, starting at verse 21, it says, "I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it,
Mm-hmm.
and that no lie is of the truth. Who is a liar but he that denieth that Jesus is the Christ? He is an antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. Whoso
Mm-hmm.
denieth the Son, the same have not the Father. But he that acknowledged the Son hath the Father also. Let that therefore abide in you, which you have heard from the beginning. If that which you have heard from the beginning shall remain in you, ye also shall continue in the Son and in the Father." And
Amen.
this,
Amen. That's fine. That's good right
so,
there. So you see if it says if you deny the Son, you don't have the Father, and likewise both.
so
Okay. Now what does it mean to deny the Son? If you go to John 5:23, you can read verse 22 and 23. The Gospel of John, chapter 5.
you mean people who do the opposite are honor the Son?
Well, we're going to see. I can read it if you want me to. I got it pulled up
I'm just trying to do some active listening. I could read it. You said for John 5, and you want me to start where?
at 22.
Verse 22. For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father which have sent him.
Okay, right. So you say you're a Hebrew Israelite. Do you believe Jesus is divine in any sense, or you believe that he is just a created being?
I would never say just. I believe he's the Son of God. I do believe he's divine in that sense.
So do you honor him just like you honor the Father?
Yeah, for sure.
So that means, what do you think about honor? What do you think honor means?
So if you're looking in the Greek context, I believe it's tameo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm terrible with the Greek, but it's to treat him as the prize, or to estimate him highly, essentially give him a high value when it comes to how you regard him.
Right. So the way that you honor God, that means you will give him his due praise, worship. You right?
Do praise and worship.
That's how
I
you
think
honor God, right? the
I
Father.
think there's a nuance with how that's done. So the way that I honor the Son, the way that I honor the Father is according to Deuteronomy 18 and 18. Whereas I look at him as the mouth of God. And if I don't listen to him, then my blood's gonna be required at my hands as prescribed.
Right. So you see there, you're making a distinction. Right here in John 5:23, it says you got to honor the Son the exact same way, just as you honor the Father. Whatever reverence you give to the Father, that means you also have to give it to the Son. And if you don't give it to the Son, then you don't have the Father.
So this is my paradigm. In Deuteronomy 18 and 18 says this: I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. And that goes the same with any prophet. And so, in that same sense, that's how I regard Christ.
Right. So you think Christ fulfills Deuteronomy 18:18, right?
Correct.
And in Deuteronomy 18:18, God says that he's going to send a prophet like Moses, and you hearken to his words, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So in John 5:23, he says, whoever does not honor the Son, just as he honored the Father who sent him, you don't have the Father either. So these are Jesus' words that I'm bringing you.
Right. I agree.
Right. So Jesus is saying that he is obligated the same worship that you give the Father.
I don't think so. I think that I mean, because there's too many contradictions in that. It's
What do you
not.
mean
It's not.
contradictions?
I'll give you an example in John 4 and 23. He said the true worshipers are going to worship him, or does he say true worshipers are going to worship the Father? He says
He
that the true
said the true
worship,
worshiper will worship the Father in spirit and truth.
yeah, and God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. So he doesn't say that people are going to worship him one day. He says people are going to worship the Father one day. In the same sense, Matthew 4 and 10, he also says, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve.
I got you, but you see, and I don't disagree. But when we look at, because John 4 comes before John 5, right? So progressively, Jesus is revealing how they must worship. Yes, we must worship the Father in spirit and truth, and that's part of honor. Given, would you agree at least that part of honoring the Father is giving him his due worship and reverence?
Of course.
Right. So Jesus is saying that he needs that same reverence and worship because it says you honor the Father just like you honor the Son. If you don't honor the Father, then you don't honor the Son, then you don't have the Father that sent him. Just like in 1 John 2:22, it says, if you deny the Son, then you deny the Father. They always link together.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't see it that way though. I put things in a particular order because that's how Torah, Tanakh, and then the New Testament puts it. The prophet is nothing without the Father, right? But the Father is everything, even without a prophet. And I believe that having respect to that, Christ would even give that same emphasis when it comes to how he should be looked at versus how the Father should be looked at, which is why in John 14, if we're talking about progression, it says that the Father is greater than I, and the Son can do nothing of himself. That's John 5 and 19. He even says that his teaching is not his own. So there's always a greater reverence for the Father than for him, but he should be regarded as the way we would regard the prophets. He should be regarded as the mouth of God because he comes speaking the things that God speaks. Like, for example, if we deal with the word latreia, right? Who receives latreia? That's the Father. The Son, he
Jesus
receives
does too.
he receives proskuneo.
Jesus also receives betrayal.
He receives betray. You said betrayal,
Betrayal.
latreia, as in worship.
Yeah. In Matthew 4.
Maybe you can show me that, actually. That would be a good learning opportunity for me.
It says proskuneo, but it also says latreo. There. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up for you.
And you said, where is this?
If I'm not mistaken, it's in Matthew 4.
Matthew 4.
Yeah.
You know what verse?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, my bad. I've never seen that.
Okay. Let me see if I can bring up this word study so I can bring it up to. With that. See if I can bring it on the screen for you so you can see it. All right, give me a minute.
Yes, sir.
Can you see this?
Matthew 4 and 10 is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
You shall worship the Lord your God. Yeah, he says Latreia, but he's saying that about the Father.
But it's saying you shall not put your God to the test, correct?
Right.
Who?
Matthew 4 and 10 is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
You shall worship the Lord your God. Yeah, he says Latreia, but he's saying that about the Father.
But it's saying you shall not put your God to the test, correct?
Right.
Who is the devil testing right here?
He's talking about the Father. Contextually, it says, let me just go to it real quick. Verse 10.
So let's be clear.
Mhm,
Jesus is getting tempted in the wilderness by the devil.
mhm.
Who's
Yeah, I'll read the context.
when Jesus says you shall not put your Lord your God to the test, who is being tested right now?
He's talking about the Father. So he
No,
says
Jesus
this.
is getting put to the test, not the Father.
This is good, but contextually, the text that he's even referring to is talking about the Father. So this is how the context goes. This is Matthew 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. And saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Shaitan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So already he's pointing back up to somebody else. He's pointing up to the Father. He's saying that the Father is the one that gets that worship. Then the devil leaving him, and behold, the angels came and ministered unto him. And now, no, that's not the part I want. I don't want the part where it says, you shall cast yourself down, and the angels shall bear thee up. Um, boom, boom, boom. So the devil taketh him up. This is verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up. So the whole thing he's testing is the notion that the Father will rescue his Son via the angels, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against the stone. Jesus said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. So he points back up to the Father a few times during this whole ordeal. So he's not talking about himself.
Well,
There's not a scholar that would agree with that, at least not that I've seen.
what do you mean? What scholar?
I'm saying there's not even a scholar that would agree that this is him referring to himself as the Lord God in Matthew 4. At least not that I have seen, but I would be open to looking over their work. But just exegetically, it doesn't jive well with the context.
I mean, it literally does, because Jesus is the one that's being worshipped there. I mean, being tested there. And when he says you shall worship, you shall not put your Lord your God to the test, the immediate person that's being referenced in that verse and being tested is Jesus.
So this is okay. So I'll continue to entertain this thought process. So the devil is telling Jesus to cast yourself down, right? And then he's saying that the angel should come and rescue you. And Jesus is saying that you shouldn't test the Lord, right? And then comes the passage that we were supposed to be examining, which is where he says that only the Father are you supposed to worship, right? Because we're
Well, hold
talking.
on. Where does Jesus say that?
Well, that was the verse that we were supposed to be talking about. Where I don't know if you remember, I said that Jesus receives proskuneo, obeisance, that's to bow, but he doesn't receive latreia. The Father receives latreia. So you went here. The passage doesn't say that Jesus is receiving latreia. He's saying that only the Father is supposed to receive latreia. Now we're talking about this point where, you say that Jesus is calling himself the Lord and not to test him, but he's still distinguished. Like, even if I give you that, he's still distinguishing himself from the Father and saying that only the Father is the one that is to receive that latreia. So just sticking to the subject behind the reason we're visiting this passage, the argument still, it falls apart even more if we adopt your stance, it seems like.
But but you're saying that Jesus is saying only worship the Father when that's not in the text.
Okay. So it says, then saith Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
So
That's not referring to the Father.
no, because he's the one that's being tested. I mean, the Father does receive betrayal, and I'm not denying that. But in the context of this Matthew 4, when the devil is tempting him, Jesus references that because he is the one that's being tempted. Like, literally, he's the one that's being tempted. But so you do agree that he can receive proskuneo.
Yeah, Jesus can receive proskuneo for sure. Even
Can he
Abraham.
can he right? Can he receive the same exact proskuneo that the Father have?
He can't receive latreia. Nobody. So this is the important thing. This hypothetical serve a good purpose, but for the sake of conversation, Jesus does not receive latreia. He does not receive that divine worship, right? If you deal with the Hebrews, which is going to be a monolatriistic society, right? Them acknowledging other powers, they would only give latreia to Yahweh when they're in their right mind, of course, right? Veering off from this is what causes them to get in trouble with the Father to begin with. So culturally, as it stands, other people can receive obeisance, they can receive proskuneo, they can bow, but that divine worship is reserved only for the Father. And there's no text that you can find it given to Jesus as opposed to the Father.
Okay, let's go to Revelation.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna go to Revelation 22, verse 3. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. I'm going to start at verse 1. Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, bright as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb through the middle. Oh, I lost my place.
You talking about verse 3.
Verse 3. Through the middle of the street, also on either side of the water, river, the tree of life, with the 12 kinds of fruit yielding each its fruit each month, the leaves of the tree
Will be
for
for
the
the
healing
healing.
of the nations. No longer will there be anything accursed, but the throne of God and of the Lamb will be in it, and his servants will worship him.
And his servants shall serve him.
Yeah, shall worship him. That's Latrell.
So it's saying that they will serve the Lamb,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads, and there
Mm-hmm.
shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light or sun, for the Lord their God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. So it's not saying that they'll worship Yahweh like the Father. It's saying they'll
No, they
worship
saying because it's saying
Jesus.
that his name will be on their foreheads, and night will be no more. They will not need no lamp or no sun, right? For the Lord God will be their light, and they will reign forever and ever. This is talking about the Lamb.
No, it's talking about the Lord. If you look at Revelation 22 and 1, it says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. So when you deal with the Lamb and the throne of God, the Lamb's not sitting on God's lap. This is language indicating that Christ is reigning in God's stead on earth, the same way that Solomon and David sat on God's throne in their rulership.
This isn't.
Christ,
I mean, but this isn't. This is in heaven.
yeah, this is in the kingdom of heaven. But Revelation tells us that this is on the earth that the rulership takes place. And this is from Isaiah chapter 2. This is from Isaiah 60. It's also from passages in Jeremiah. And the same tone takes place where um, the king is going to rule in the place of God because it's God's kingdom, and the nations will flow onto it, and the Torah will come down, and they will be taught to the nations. But this is talking about the Most High ruling and the Lamb sitting on his throne the same way that David and Solomon sat on God's throne. It's not saying that the Lamb is God, and it's not saying that people are going to worship God. It's saying that the Lamb is going to sit as a representative the same way David and Solomon did. Of course, he's going to do better than either of them, but
Let's
it's
not.
talking about the
Okay.
Lord.
Who's okay? Let's. All you have to do is go back up. Revelations 21, verse
Wait,
8.
we're going to chapter 21 now.
Yeah, just go back up, and it's all in
Okay.
context.
Okay. Where you want to go in 21?
21, verse 1 through 8.
1 through 8. Okay. So I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, excuse me, and I, John, saw a holy city, a new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned from the husband. This is alluding to the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verses 19 through 23. It says, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. This is pointing to a couple passages like Ezekiel 37, for example, verses 27 through 28. It says, and God will wipe away all tears from their eyes. This is Jeremiah 31. It says, he shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, neither crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I will make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone.